Boo. What's up, guys? Got a review for you, horror based, because it's getting close to Halloween. We're in October. Come on. We gotta get our horror and Halloween juices flowing. So, what I have in store for you. So, I had a lot to choose from, like a lot. Netflix, movies, past stuff. It was ridiculous. I'm like, what the heck am I gonna talk about? So, a new one, actually. I got it actually right in front of me. The IMDb. So I get all the facts right. It's called Midnight Mass. It's a limited series on Netflix. So for those who have Netflix, maybe you've seen the cover, maybe you didn't. Anyway, it's about this guy just gets out of prison from he's like a truck driver type religious background, but drinks. Got this crazy car accident on the mainland because the bulk of the story takes place on this island off the east coast. I want to say New York. It's not really implied where this island is, but it's an island, small community in America on the east coast. So, anyway, this young man, car accident, kills his passenger, does some time. So many years later, comes back to where he grew up. He tries to readjust with his family, and they're all a bunch of outsiders. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, the church, which is like a big deal to everyone on this island, one church, their priest, like the priest in charge of this church, goes away for like a journey to like Jerusalem. We actually get into detail with that later. I don't want to spoil it for those who actually probably want to see it, or maybe have seen it. Anyway, for some reason, a new priest hops in the picture, a young guy, and everyone's like, "Who the heck is this man?" And what happened to our priest? And he goes to tell them, "Hey, listen, I met up with your priest and in bad shape. He's at a hospital in the mainland, so he fills in, right?" But he's like real charismatic, like his like preaching's like off the chart, crazy. I'm not that much of a churchgoer, so, but there's a whole lot of that going on. In fact, when I saw this, I was like, is this a horror movie posing as a religious movie, or a religious movie posing as a horror movie? Because the only distracting thing about this, because it was a great series, through and through. I'll get back to the story in a sec. I just wanted to say this. But the music was like those, church hymns, I want to say, where they would like sing an entire passage of the Bible, stuff like that, or like, churchy based songs, but also very haunting melodies that came with them. So it worked, very distracting. I grew up in an age where my horror movies came with soundtracks. Think of like, Queen of the Damned, or, God, Dracula 2000 or Texas Chainsaw, Anyway, small, minor detail. As the story progresses, we find out that this priest is hiding a really dark secret. And the priest's assistant, who's this crazy, overzealous woman, who's like making everyone around her uncomfortable. She's like super religious. In fact, the only other, non-religious people, I guess, but I wouldn't even call it non-religious, is the sheriff, who's Muslim, is an Arab, and his son. So I guess they're like the oddballs, but the son tries to fit in, and the sheriff just, his dad just tries to kind of like, run the show day to day. There's like a common drunk, but they're like buddies. Like I said, it's a very small net community on this island, and like I said, church is a big deal. Everyone knows each other, so this priest kind of stood out because it wasn't the people, the person that they were used to. But as the story progresses, we find out, oh my God, something dark going on here. Because every now and then we'll cut to like an overhead shot of the island, like something's like peering down, like something with wings. Spoiler. Yeah, it's a very, very haunting film. Not film, series. As it goes on, because you learn about the truth of this priest, and he eventually announces it. But like I said, meanwhile, you got this, the elephant in the room, which is this angel, he calls it. And as we see, throughout the series, that this thing isn't an angel. He brings this thing back from Jerusalem to this island. And, he's, performing his religious duties as a priest in a church would do, the Holy Communion. But, like all right, I'll just go ahead and spoil some stuff here because just to make this entertaining. Yeah, the whole body and blood thing is kind of like literal. So there's a lot of vampiric things going on here, a lot of blood drinking, I want to say. And like this all leads up to this like epic, last 4 or 5 episodes that really kind of pull you in. And you're like, when you finally, when, not the climax, but when like things start settling in. But the kicker is when we're focused, mind you, we're focused on still the main character, the former, prisoner / drunk driver who's now kind of like reformed, and he's trying to kind of like fit in, right? Remember that guy I told you about? Well, he's we think he's like the main character, and you start to figure it out, but then he's gone. That's it, And now you're like, well, what the heck? And then he's back again, but then he does that to prove a point to someone, who he's dated at some point, and like a while back, it's an old flame, and she's like pregnant, but with someone else's kid from like someone from the mainland. Now she's back on living the island. So there's a lot of like back and forth going on here, but it's not confusing. Everything's relatively explained. I'm bad at explaining stuff without spoiling it. I'm partially spoiling it, but I don't want to kind of narrate the entire thing for you guys. I just want to kind of give you my opinion. That's my version of a review. But yeah. But anyway, like I said, faith is definitely important in this series. Like I said, there's hundreds of horror elements there, but also the religious aspects there too. And it's like you think you're going on this path of righteousness, but really it's just masquerading as a demon. As like something completely evil 360 that's pretty much leading the cattle astray, put it that way. And when you realize what's really going on, you're like, wow, And I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. It was interesting. You don't see, no, you really don't see too much of this kind of going on, Because, most religious horror movies are about, demonic possession or some artifact or whatever, like The Exorcist. But no, this was just about a small community trying to hold on to hope and everyday life, but a wrench gets thrown in their machine, and it's all chaos and distrust and evil. This movie did with religion with what Hereditary kind of did with the American Family, where Hereditary's evil kind of went into the whole possession aspect, I guess. Still there's a demon involved, but where that was kind of like behind the scenes, Hereditary, the Midnight Mass shows it. It's a lot more gorier too and bloodier, which is exciting. So you watch it at night, you get the full aspect of it. It's very atmospheric, like in a sense like Hereditary, but Hereditary was on a whole other level. That's a movie I definitely recommend too. But yeah, Hereditary, like I was saying, kind of showed the American family and broke it down pretty much into nothingness, and yeah, pure chaos after that. And that's kind of what happens in the Midnight Mass. You have all these people with shady pasts, or things that they regret or could have done better, and they're all kind of like a beacon to this religious aspect, this church, but what they're following. Like if they only knew what was really going on, and when they find out, some accepted, some don't, and it's a legit bloodbath towards the end. And it was very put together, very well. The guy behind this, Mike Flanagan. So I looked him up, and I don't know why this didn't dawn on me, but big guy with horror writing. The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, just to name a few. Doctor Sleep, that sequel to Stephen King's The Shining. He wrote that one too. So the guy's, he's a heavyweight in the writing aspects of horror and these gothic horror films and all that. But yeah, Midnight Mass was pretty impressive. I liked it. It was a fun ride. Uh, like I said, nothing really bad to say about it. I liked it gave you just enough to carry on to the next episode, and left me wanting. I used to stay up till like 3 in the morning and try okay, what's gonna happen next? What's this about? Do they know this? And like I said, it doesn't take much to figure out what's going on halfway through the point and picking out who's good, who's bad, who may be good, might be bad, but the ride it brings you to get to these climaxes is awesome, and I totally recommend it. Midnight Mass. Like I said, you binge watch it. It's not that, I think there's like 8 episodes, maybe 6 or 7. It wasn't that long. I said limited series, so whatever that means. I doubt this is going to spawn a season 2, I guess. But regardless, I think it was great. Definitely, watch it at night. Kind of amplifies the whole Halloween horror aspect. If you want to do the whole 31 Days of Halloween thing, if you're getting started with that in October, I don't know. Whatever your routine is, whatever you do to watch horror movies, or if you're looking for something to watch that's fresh, I would definitely check it out. Midnight Mass on Netflix. Alright, guys, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna see how far I can get with this. Maybe I get maybe like 2 horror related reviews, somewhat. It's left to me before Halloween. We're still very early in October, and yeah, down the line I'll sprinkle some stuff. It's one of my favorite. I embraced it. I love October. And not just because the fall puts out some great beer, but no, I truly love Halloween. It's just something that's always been a part of me, and yeah, this is my way of sharing it. So hope you like the review. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Most of you probably have Netflix, so if you like a good scare, you want to check something new out, give it a shot. All right, guys. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Peace.